Hello, and welcome to Writing Tips with Rachel. Today I'm sharing my tips for what you can do if you write about things women aren't supposed to write about. Last week, I shared a video called, "Would We Be Doing This to a Man?" In it, I shared some interesting information I found in my historical research about all the book genres women weren't supposed to write in around the year 1900. To quickly recap, that would be science fiction and fantasy because of scientific knowledge, crime and detective fiction because it's violent, political and satirical writing because it's informed and critiques society, adventure and travel writing because women's mobility was supposed to be confined to the home sphere, horror fiction because it's dark and violent, and literary fiction with serious themes because, well, who knows? You had to have a brain. The Bronte sisters published their first book of poetry under male pen names. Charlotte Bronte published Jane Eyre under the same pen name, and Emily Bronte published Wuthering Heights under her pen name. When it finally leaked that these novels were written by the Bronte sisters, it was considered scandalous and shocking, and opinions changed about the books. Like, they were no longer lauded as important books. We've progressed beyond these limitations, of course, but biases still exist. We see it all the time in reviews and in rejections and the tanking of books that happen every day. There are still some latent beliefs that sound something like, well, women aren't supposed to write stuff like this. We may not say it out loud, but the thought worms into our minds when we're not paying attention. And maybe it influences that review we're posting on Goodreads. Maybe it happens at the bookstore when we don't pick up a certain kind of book because it bears a woman author's name. So what if you are a woman who writes what we aren't supposed to write? Here are my best tips. Number 1, consider whether you want to publish under your name. I use my initials. Sometimes I wonder if it was the best thing to do. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't change anything, it just plays the game. But that's a decision for every author to make for themselves. I've recently been reading about Marianne Evans. You probably don't know this name because she published all her greatest works under the name George Eliot. She was playing the game too. It's a tough decision to make. We haven't progressed beyond the point where men, or boys for that matter, will consistently pick up a book by a woman. We can sometimes find more success publishing under a male pen name. Only we can make that decision. Number 2, write what you want to write anyway. If we are publishing books and writing them according to pleasing the public, we will not be in this for long because it's impossible. The public is notoriously fickle. It doesn't care about hurt feelings. We may as well write what we want. Social and political commentary, literary books, intelligent sci-fi and detective novels. Maybe you really like to write violence into your books. Do it. Maybe your very dark mind can create spine-thrilling stories. Please write them. Maybe you get really nerdy with the science in your books. Bring it on. We can write anything because we have the minds to do it. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Number 3, remember you're not alone. I feel like a broken record with this point, but I think it's important enough to say just about every time. Surround yourself with people who support you and believe in you. Writers or regular people, you need your community. Now, if you're one who believes women can't or shouldn't write that, here are my tips for you. Number 1, pick up a book from a writer who is a woman. I have many I can recommend, and you might be surprised by how good they are. Number 2, keep your opinion to yourself. Not everyone needs to hear it. It may very well be that your biases cloud your opinion anyway. Don't ruin a book for someone else. Number 3, open your mind. It's good to examine those invisible biases every now and then. Here's a helpful question to start with. Would I have this opinion about this book if it were written by a man? Despite our history in publishing, women have important things to say. We should be free to say them. That's it for today's Writing Tips with Rachel. I hope this video has been helpful to you. I'd love to know what you write about and which women writers you consistently read. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for videos about books and life and more videos like this. and sign up for my newsletter at racheltolson.com for inspiration, book recommendations, news, and writing prompts. Stay strong, and see you next time.